Hi, welcome back. I hope you had a nice week and you're ready for another video. This week, I am answering again one of my viewers, Ercilia Neves, that in response to my last video, she actually made a point and asked me to if I could give her my input. And here it is, Ercilia. This one is for you and everyone out there working from home. Ercilia asked me if I could give her my input about working from home with your partner, because this is a reality for a lot of people where the entire household is working from home. So sometimes mom, dad, and if you have all the children, sometimes one of the children already work or may not. But that's another thing as well. A lot of parents are now facing the reality of homeschooling as well, so they have to have a productive day and incorporate the homeschooling of the kids in that. And I think that's the hardest thing of it all, in my perspective. I'm not doing it. My child, it's only 3.5, so I'm not facing that, but obviously I'm facing the fact of entertaining her and still having her stimulated and try to get activities and try to do things with her and still be able to have a functional day at work. So does my husband. So if you're gonna ask me, Ercilia, what's more disruptive at the moment, I wouldn't say the fact of working and my husband working from home, but having my daughter with me, it's more disruptive, because she comes and she scribbles on my work diary or something like that. Or if I'm trying to focus on doing something and she talks to me and she pushes me or something like that, it's very disruptive. The same with my husband. He may be having a meeting or something like that, and she comes and she sings or she talks to him, and it's quite hard. And he already had to tell his colleagues twice that it was her daughter, and they were obviously having a laugh about it, because everyone understands, everyone is in the same boat, and everyone is actually experiencing a similar situation at the moment. So I have to say this: my situation is not like a lot of parents and a lot of couples or a lot of households these days. I'm not experiencing the situation or the case scenario that you described in your question, Hercilia, because my house, I've got a 3-bedroom townhouse, and I have a third bedroom which works as a guest bedroom and also my office. So at the moment, and because we have this arrangement, my husband is working in the home office, and because our daughter is here, I'm working in another area of the house, and he's working here. So we're not working together. So that part that you mentioned about the privacy, about setting your own space, and making office work for more than one person, it doesn't really apply for me, because of what I just said. So we work in different actually in different levels of the house. So we are quite separated. We just had our daughter coming up and down and disrupting both of us. So it's a bit different. But once she goes back to childcare, my intention is coming back here, because this is the office, and then we would be working from home together. My husband used to work from home already 2 days a week, so I am quite used to this, and he is quite used to this as well. One of those days that he was working from home, my daughter would be home. So we kind of, this is a situation that we are well adapted already, because we were already living with this situation before. So it's not something that is just imposed on us out of a sudden, just like everyone else, just like your case or any other person out there that has been faced with the working from home situation. But I'm still going to answer your question, and I'm still going to give you my input of obviously an outsider, because I'm not experiencing it, but what I think I would do if I was faced with a situation. Because as you said, and rightly so, not all houses or most houses don't have a space that you can accommodate to offices or one office or whatever. So it's hard. You have to work around the situation, and you have to make it functional for both people. And this and I'm putting this just when you think about a couple, for example, working from home, because once you throw the children in the mix, that is a totally different ball game altogether. It's really complicated. What I think I would do, and because workplaces these days, they basically work like that. You have two different, a huge open space, and you have the desks, and everyone has their own desks, their own cubicles, and they have their own space. So what I would do if I was faced with that, for example, working in my dinner table, such as a lot of people are doing at the moment, what I would do, I would just set space. Imagine those cubicles, imagine those spaces that exist in an office. So I would put, let's say my husband would work from here to there, would be his space, and he could put all his working tools and things, and I would work from this space to that space, and that we would separate things. And I would look at him not as my husband, so I wouldn't get distracted and start talking to him and asking him things that absolutely out of nowhere and are obviously a distraction and a disruption for my work and for his work. I would see him as a colleague, so I would just block off the fact that it was there. I would block off the fact that it was my husband. Working with children is different, especially for parents that now have to homeschool as well. And my big shout out for them, because I don't know how you guys can do it. I believe it's really, really hard, because it's basically a full-time job. That's why there's teachers, and at the moment you guys are doing that work, and then you have the support of the teachers that also are doing a terrific job trying to do everything in the background and try to preparate everything for you, and so you can be able to teach your kids and have still the teacher support. I think everyone is doing a terrific job, everyone is coming together, and I think it's fantastic. It's been fantastic. A big shout out for teachers and for parents that are currently homeschooling, because I think it's amazing what you're doing. With the children, obviously there's going to be disruption. It's inevitable. You cannot do anything differently. It's if you need to look at your child's homework and you need to explain something, it's going to be disruptive. I think it's expected. No employer expects an employee that is currently having to homeschool to have 100% productivity once they have to do 2 full-time jobs at once. So it's complicated. So with children, it's a completely different story. I've been dealing with working with my daughter, and I have adapted to do so, but still I've been affected with COVID, because now I have to work with my daughter, and she is at home, so she doesn't have any exercise. She does, but it's different from going out and playing with friends and all that. So she's also bored of being at home, and that interferes with her behavior and all that. So it's been disrupted for me and for my husband. So, Ercilia, resuming what I wanted to say today, I think the privacy issues, I'm thinking, and I think maybe that's what you were thinking when you mentioned privacy, would be if both have to do, for example, online conferences, that would be disruptive, because if both of them have a conference at the same time, there would be a complete mess. So what I would say is, for example, if study the nature of each one's work. For example, for me and my husband wouldn't be a problem, because I hardly have if I had I only had one Skype meeting, and there wasn't a video meeting, but it was on audio meeting with one of my clients once, because basically all the communication that I have with my clients is written. So I communicate in a regular basis with my clients, but it's through chat. So it's a chat room. We don't really have audio meetings. So even if I'm working here with my husband, I don't disrupt his work. Even if I'm having a meeting with my client, I'm not disrupting his work, because obviously I'm just typing. He might disrupt mine a bit, but doesn't really, because he works in an industry that he needs to have lots of meetings. So if I was working from here as well, and when I come and work from here, there will be I would have to put up with him having his meetings, but he's not very loud, so I think I can accommodate that. But I see what you mean. I think in that case, and if both have a job that requires them to have lots of audio meetings, what I think I would do to get around that situation was perhaps work in different places in the house. Maybe put a little table in the bedroom, and one would work in the bedroom and the other one in the lounge. Or if you have a 2-bedroom unit or house, one in one bedroom, the other one in the other bedroom. Because I understand the question of privacy, of being able to talk without having anyone else talking in the background, obviously. That I agree, it must be something that it's a little bit hard to navigate through and to deal with. But I think if you study whatever the nature of each one's job, and just set up a plan that may work for both of you. Maybe if someone is working in one part of the house, in a different part of the house, for example, or something like that. If both really have a job that is just typing, they don't have really a lot of face-to-face meetings, face-to-face online meetings, either audio or with video as well, then I think it can work if you just set up in your dinner table or whatever space you have set for this, and each one on one side, just like in a normal office, and you just think of it as a small cubicle, and you just separate things. I think it's feasible. But if there is meetings involved, maybe you need to think about it, get a little desk, a little chair, and a little desk that you can put in the bedroom, and set your computers. I know it's very hard, especially now, because people work with big screens, and I've got one just in front of me. Big screens that people need to work with, big screens, sometimes 2 screens, and it's hard. It's very complicated to put all that. And if, for example, you're working from your dinner table, it's hard to get out at the end of the day, and you have to remove all the screens. You have to remove all your working things. And this is what also last video, one of the things that my other viewer, Andrea Cardozo, also mentioned, that is to make your home office as functional as your office. Because if you don't have a designated area, if you don't have an office per se, you have to be removing your things every day and putting your things back every day, and basically you waste a lot of time just going around with things. Whilst if you are in a space in your office, or if you have a space at home that is designated for that, it's easier. So I see the disruption that this causes. My outsider view is that maybe if you can work around that, thinking what is the nature of your job, what do you require to do in your job, and accommodate that. I know that for some professions it's quite hard. For example, IT, my husband, he needs screens, everything. That's why he moved up here in the office that I used to be in, because he really needs this. And I can accommodate in another area, but idea is I also be coming here, and we would both work from this office, and then everything will be in the same room, but we can work together, because the nature of my work is a bit different from his. I don't have the meetings that he has, so I wouldn't be really interfering with his work. So I hope I answer your question. If there's anything that you still would like me to mention, or if you're not happy with my answer, please let me know. I hope you liked my video. I hope you guys like my video. If someone out there, if you guys are experiencing this and you're doing it different from what I said, because as I said, it was an outsider perspective. If you want to give us your insider perspective, please leave in the comments below. Would love to hear from you. If you have a different opinion, if you think, if you have other ideas, please share with us. Let's start a conversation. Thank you very much for being on this side. Thank you very much for watching. See you next week. Have a good week. Stay safe, stay home, wash your hands, keep your distance. Bye.